Hello and good day everyone. My name is Luk Augustus Anakkar and I'm going to present about the introduction to our group projects entitled Masonry Work. What is masonry work? According to Rahman, masonry is the building of structure from individual units which are often laid in and bound together by mortar. The term masonry can also refer to the units themselves. The common materials of masonry construction are bricks and also building stones. So, on-site, masonry construction work is a high-risk and physically demanding work, where the workers, or known as masons, they are usually involved with work-related injuries. And masonry works usually involve heavy physical activities, which includes erecting and dismantling of the scaffold, handling blocks or bricks and mortar, and also laying of those bricks and blocks, and also grouting works. And block or a brick is typically weighs around 12 to 15 kilograms. And also those masons, they lay on around average of 1000 bricks per day. And this can cause physical load and consequently musculoskeletal disorders to them because they need to bend, lift, and twist to lay a brick or blocks. This is the literature review part. So masonry works usually involve executing one-hand repetitive lifting of bricks and two-handed lifting of blocks, and pushing, pulling wheelbarrow for more than 4 hours per day is common in masonry works. And also struck by object contributes 27% of all masonry workers' injuries, followed by falls or overexertion in lifting with 21% and 12% of all masonry injuries. And also these are the common diseases or musculoskeletal disorder that is experienced by the masonry workers, and those are low back pain, hand, wrist, knee and neck injuries, respiratory problems due to toxic substances of the bricks and blocks, and also there is also fatalities due to falling from height when doing concreting or laying of brick. Also, these are the proposed controllable measures, which includes keep working height between 60 and 90 centimeters, and also the brick and block stacks is at least 50 cm. And also the other method is to pump the mortar onto the platform by using equipment to lift blocks over 18 kilograms. So, and then the last one is to use lightweight blocks to reduce the ergonomic loads of the masonry workers. And that's all for me. I'm going to pass to my colleague. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Sazwan Bersirun and I will explain about the method of risk assessment. Okay, the first one is identify hazard and countermeasure for the mason work. We have gathered 10 for safety hazard and health hazard. We give sample one for safety and one for health hazard. For safety hazard, fall from elevated surface, fall into a cellar pit, shaft and trench or open ditch. For countermeasure, wear a safety harness and safety helmet when working on elevated area. Okay, make sure the working area is clear from tool and material to avoid tripping. For the health hazard, skin inflammation, dermatitis and eczema, allergic reaction resulting from direct contact with cement or cement dust, is proven that case of sensitivity to chromium, cobalt, nickel, calcium chloride and other additive content in cement. So the countermeasure, wearing suitable PE such as glove and waterproof when necessary to prevent wet cement from encountering the skin. Okay, this is the other type of the hazard, head hazard and safety hazard. This is the last three for the head hazard and safety hazard that we gathered. For risk estimation and risk evaluation, risk estimation is process determination likelihood and severity for the possible incident sequence in order to quantify level the hazard. There are three methods, which is a qualitative, which is to analyze severity of the situation and the likelihood of it happening. The second one is quantitative, use the numerical value for both severity and likelihood is based on the data from variety of source, including historical, accident data and statistical model. And lastly, which is a semi-quantitative analysis assigned to quantitative scale. This is a table for the likelihood of occurrence. The range from the most likely to improbable. Okay, this is the severity of hazard. Severity is based on the equation the level of severity to individual health or the environment. Uh, the range is between catastrophic to negligible. This is the risk metric table. Okay, we can see the formula which is from the likelihood and severity we multiply, and then we can get the high, medium or low the risk. Okay, from the risk metric table, we can make a decision for the action for the high, medium, and low. Okay, for the high risk require immediate action. For the medium risk require a plan to approach to controlling the hazard and apply a temporary measure if required. For the low may be considered as acceptable and further reduction may not be necessary. So, however, if the risk can be resolved quickly and efficiently, control measures should be in plan and required.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Mai Hamza, matrix number CF190168, and I'll be presenting about our hazard prevention and control. Now, according to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration (OSHA), hazards can be effectively be controlled and prevented by, firstly, involve competent workers with educations on how to control the hazards, apply hierarchy of control approaches, implement a hazard control plan, develop an emergency protocols for workers' protection during hazards, and finally evaluate effectiveness of current existing controls as well as exploring new potential ideas. Here is an infographic representation of the hierarchy of control to hazards as per the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, NIOSH. Each approach varies in the effectiveness to prevent and control hazards. The first approach, which is personal protective equipment or PPE, is the least effective approach. PPE approach in the case of masonry work would be providing safety helmets, hand gloves and shades for workers to be equipped with protective apparels while conducting their work. The next approach is administrative control. Administrative control focuses on developing an organized system within the organization which would exercise the implemented safety protocols that has been developed. In this example, an implementation of a buddy system protocol that workers must follow would prove beneficial to prevent hazards, as masonry work in itself is rather a tedious work. Next is engineering control, and engineering control is essentially an approach that would isolate the people involved in the work from the hazards. In masonry work, activities such as cutting and carving are hazardous as they can produce harmful dusts. Hence, engineering control would control the situation by applying dust control to the area beforehand. Besides that, since masonry work are easily exposed to hazards outside of the work area, barriers such as hoardings can be effective in controlling the hazards, specifically for workers working near the boundary of the site area. Substitution control, on the other hand, refers to the replacing of the hazard itself. In the case of masonry work, we would see the hazard, which is the rock material itself, could have technological improvements to create a better, non-hazardous, dust-free, and lightweight mason to be worked on. And finally, elimination control, which is the direct physical removal of the hazard itself.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aidil Kamal and I will present to you about chapter 5 in our project, which is impact of most critical safety and health risks. So there are difference between health and safety hazard, which is health hazard include pollution, harmful emission, exposure to toxic substance, and etc. While for the safety risks include being accidentally hit by moving parts or whichever that can cause injuries, dislocation or fractures. So for our project, the most significant safety hazard that found while working with masonry is collapse or falling from height, which can result in death. So with a rating of 16, this danger is moderately high and are four of the major most cause of death in construction site based on DOSH report. So due to the nature of masonry work, masons are particularly vulnerable to building accidents. Precaution that can be taken to manage this risk are to put on additional personal protective equipment or PPE, such as goggles, safety shoes with special non-skid bottom. This is important because masons tend to slip from high and fall. Okay, so others are PPE are safety helmets. So next, for the most critical health hazard, okay, based on the hierarchy table, it ranks that bricklaying in open, which expose masons to the sun, as the most serious health hazard. Okay, with a risk of 10, and it is a high ranking. So as the body keeps storing heat, the person or the masons start to lose focus and has trouble concentrating on a task. So become irritable or sick and often loses the desire to drink. So the next stage is most often fainting or death. Okay, so engineering control that can be taken, including general ventilation and spot cooling by local exhaust ventilation at points of high heat production. So it may be helpful. And the second thing is workplace practice, like giving enough of water for drinking and training first aid personnel that can help lower the likelihood of heat illnesses. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi, my name is Muhammad Ilham from Group 10. So I'll be presenting on the last part, which is the conclusion part. Conclusion is occupational hazards are one of the most common causes of accidents, as we all know. So as a guide, occurrences involving masonry works, including their equipments and tools, were reviewed and studied using the hierarchy table, which we have used for this project. So what we have found is that the danger level was assessed and also graded as low, medium, and high in the table. For masonry works, operations including equipment was discovered to contain at least 10 hazards with the greatest risk rating of 20, which we consider as high. So next point is the process of detecting these hazards, risk assessment, and controlling them is required to ensure the health of construction workers and adjacent inhabitants, and the risk and control methods must also be reviewed. However, if an accident occurs, it should be examined through a series of interviews with people involved in the incident, and steps should be taken to prevent it from happening again. Lastly, what we suggest for this masonry works safety and health is that we provide a safe working environment, such as by always cleaning and maintaining the workplace appropriately. So that's all for the conclusion part of this of our project on masonry works. That's all from me and from Group 10. Thank you.